Hello there. I think today is the fifth edition of the digital diary series that I'm having, where I upload basically a video every single week, just going over kind of what's going through my head and what's going through my mind going forward, and what I'll be doing going forward, what I learned throughout the week, so I can help build my agency in public. I have a few things that I really want to touch on because this week was a little bit of an interesting week. It was the first time that in a while that I felt just little signs of burnout. I wouldn't even say that it's burnout, but just little times of unmotivation and wanting just to sit on my phone in my bed or just sit and watch YouTube instead of doing the work that I know I had to do. I think just being completely transparent is really important just because obviously the stuff that I preach, it's easy to make it seem like I'm some sort of perfect being or some sort of person that just knows all these things and does all these things, but I'm a regular human and I have the affinity to make mistakes as well, or just to learn from the ways in which I do things and I have my own flaws. The big thing with that is that I've been very good at focusing on the now. So just to give it in context with the last thing, which was obviously burnout, and then focusing on the now. The way I'm going forward is like I like to focus on exactly where I'm in right now. It has to do also with inputs and outputs, but with my goals, I don't really focus too much on the monetary or number of subscribers, or I want to hit this amount of money this month. It's more about understanding what I need to do in order to get there and just focusing on the things that I can control, because it's controlling what you can control. I can't control 100% the amount of money that ends up in my bank account at the end of every month. I can do things that enable it to be closer to what I want it to be, but there's no way for me to 100% control it. So focusing on that outcome will always certainly lead to being in some sort of rat race where you're always chasing something, you're chasing a next high. But if as long as I know that I'm focused every single day and I'm showing up every day that I need to, doing what I know I need to do, then the results will come inevitably. So yeah, so just being focused on the now and just not getting too far ahead of myself, and also not getting shiny object syndrome with so many different things. I've been looking at like maybe even implementing learning Claude Code, but I had a good conversation about this week where that it just came up where it doesn't really make sense for me at this stage right now, because the only reason I was looking to learn it initially was so that I could learn how to build dashboards to package my solutions even better. But Retail AI, I'm not sure if a lot of people know, it has basically a dashboard feature. So it didn't really make sense for me to give 20-30 minutes, not even 20-30 minutes, but a couple of hours to learn how to use a completely new platform and then have to pay for it as well, when I honestly don't really have a clear use for it at the moment. I see a lot of people like Nate Hurd making videos about it, so it's really popular right now. So that's kind of why I want to learn how to use it. At the same time, it's just like focusing on what matters and keeping the main thing. And I'm not sure if I said this in my last video, like my last week video, but I'm just trying to focus on doing the things that work and things that I've seen results with, rather than just because I feel like I have this habit of where I would do something, it works, and then treat it as is, and then going forward, I would like keep on finding ways to do more things to get more results. So in terms of outreach, if cold calling has been working a lot more effective than cold email or something else, but naturally, or I would have in the past been like, okay, now how can I look at doing paid ads or something like that? Or if my cold calling is working, how can I learn how to do cold email? When if I spent the time and leveraged the thing that was working and kept on pulling the lever that was showing me the most results, then I would be able to get to a point where I could experiment freely without it having a detrimental effect on the amount of inbound clients I'm getting or the amount of time I have. Because like if anyone knows, learning cold email is not something that you do like half-heartedly. Otherwise, you're wasting your time and your money. Something a little bit on a less serious side was just I didn't realize how much weather could have an effect on just like the work ethic. I would see that people would say stuff like that, but it's just I'm not even sure. Potentially, this is a limiting belief. I don't really care for it too much because it's like I know I'll get up, like I'm working regardless. But it's just at times I just feel like drained. I look outside, it's just snowing. Like right now, there's a snowstorm. Different things like that where it just makes it a little bit more difficult per se at times to like want to get up, because it's just like you're cozy in your bed because it's so cold and like you're warm. So then now you have to get up, and for me, usually a lot of times is get up and go to school when I could just sit at home and be comfortable in my bed. But just doing the things I know I have to do again is just very important to me. So I just have to get up and do it anyways. But I could only imagine what like living in a country where it's always sunny, or like living in Miami or something like that. I think one of the biggest things that helped me with my productivity over the last few weeks or this last month, because during this video will probably be coming out either right on the last few days of January, probably like January 29th or 30th. So it'll be right before then. But like today's January 25th. So obviously, like content batching has really helped my productivity because content is a lever that isn't the most, I would say, isn't the most beneficial in terms of return on investment and getting clients. But it helps me feel really fulfilled because I enjoy creating content. I enjoy recording videos and putting videos out on Instagram or on YouTube. I enjoy that process. So content batching helps me keep that where I have 1 to 2 days where I'm filming both my YouTube and my Instagram reels, and then batching my long form YouTube videos. So like these were still being batched, but my shorts videos I would have to carve out time every single day to find. And plus I would work too, so I'd have to carve out time to sit down and rehearse the video, not rehearse, but like write out a script and film the video, which is really time consuming and just really wasn't worth it in the long run. I feel like this video was a little bit more faster paced than the other ones, partly because I'm pretty tired today, so I just almost want to get it over with, but I also want to make sure I get everything in and I don't miss a thing, because these things are selfishly more so for myself to look back on in a few months and see what I was talking about, see where I am. But obviously, like those of you watching have a chance to see where I'm at compared to where you're at, ask questions about anything, and just like share your stories and share your experience. That's like the main use of these videos. But at the end of the day, if no one really watches them, then it's fine, because again, they're a large portion of it is for myself, and just almost like public declarations of me, of what I'm doing, so that I can hold myself accountable. And with that, the last thing I just want to say is that everything comes in due time. And like I said before, focus on the inputs, not the outputs. And I know for a fact that the things that I want and the things that are destined to happen for me will happen in just a matter of time. I'll see you guys next week.